All right, peace and blessings. I got a letter from Scott Faul today. Scott Faul has spent, wait for it, 35 years in prison as an innocent man. Never killed anybody. He was not responsible for the murder of anybody. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when Gordon Call was violently confronted by some U.S. Marshals that had lost their mind. But that's all documented in the movie Death and Taxes, and they have a vendetta against Scott Faul and Yori Von Call, and it's been very hard for them to get an unbiased parole hearing. And this will be uploaded to Scott Faul's Year of Jubilee webpage. Let's go ahead and read it. Dear Rudy and Aaron, since last writing on July the 19th, 2018, I have received from you an update email which you sent on 7/23/18, an Alan Shale email sent on 7/27/18, a no updates email on 8/8/18, and 2 emails sent on 8/10/18. United States Attorney Office, North Dakota, and a pardon letter. In the regular mail, on August 6, 2018, I received your August 1st, 2018 postcard and an envelope postmarked July 30th, 2018 with 10 pages of the 7/28/18 survey results. On August the 15th, I got the book you caused to be sent, Miracle in Atlanta by William Bickett, Bickett as told by Pat Shannon. I am enjoying it. And finally, on August the 22nd, I got your 3-page transcript of U.S. Attorney's Office, North Dakota, Chris Myers' office notified about unjust incarceration of Scott Faul for over 35 years, which really made my day. That is super and gives rise to a great opportunity to follow up on it. Also, on August the 22nd, I received an August the 14th, 2018, dated Notice of Action on Appeal from the Parole Commission via staff here at Sandstone. I am enclosing a copy of that for you, but I will refrain from commenting on it at this point, allowing you to lay it beside the July 16, 2018 dated 50-page appeal that I sent to them with a copy to you and come to your own conclusions as to what they are all about. Then I will send you my scathing report against them when I get it put together. I am planning to call you tonight, so I will just leave this without further elaboration, except for sharing my strong belief that Chantel will be able to bring about some positive results with my family's problem. All right, this is the report from the Notice of Action of Appeal from the U.S. Department of Justice, and this has all been scanned and put on Scott Faul's Year of Jubilee website. It's from the U.S. Department of Justice, United States Parole Commission, who I consider the world's #1 human trafficker, 90 K Street, Northeast, 3rd floor, Washington, D.C., 20530. The National Appeals Board examined the appeals of the above named and ordered the following. Affirmed the previous decision. So I guess they're affirming the decision to keep Scott Faul in prison. Reasons. Here's the reasons they give. Throughout your appeal, you assert that the Commission and the U.S. judicial system at large has made a multitude of errors denying your parole and acted in a biased manner in an organized conspiracy to keep you incarcerated. You assert 12 claims against the Commission, arguing a wide range of issues that can best be summarized as such. 1. The Commission has made a procedural error in your case, and a different decision would have resulted if the correct procedure would have been followed, in that you were not considered under the terms of mandatory parole. 2. The Commission applied a statute or regulation incorrectly, in that your sentence has not been properly calculated and you are eligible for mandatory parole. 3. The Commissioner and hearing examiner were involved in your parole decision were biased against you and need to recuse themselves from this matter. 4. The Commission made a procedural error in your deciding your case because it was not properly considered under original jurisdiction. 5. The Commission wrongfully engaged in double counting when making their decision. 6. A decision outside the guidelines was not supported by the reasons or facts stated in the notice of action. 7. There are especially mitigating circumstances in your case which justify a different decision. And lastly, 8. You seek the enforcement of a multi-million-dollar contract against the Commission and its actors. First, the National Appeals Board addresses both of your claims that 1, you are eligible for mandatory parole, and 2, that there has been an error in computing your sentence together. Under 28 CFR Section 2.53, mandatory parole is available to prisoners serving life terms after completion of 30 years of each life term they are serving. You have been sentenced to 1, a term of life plus 15 years for the offenses second-degree murder of federal officers and aiding and abetting, and 2, forcibly assaulting and impeding federal officer by deadly weapon. Your 2/3 date is currently calculated by the Bureau of Prisons as February 14, 2023, and you are not eligible to be considered for mandatory parole. If, as you allege, there has been an error in calculating your sentence, this error should be pursued through the proper channels of the Bureau of Prisons. I gotta say, if you look at old newspaper clippings or old videos that were done on Scott Faul, it shows that his release date was long before now. I mean, it shows him getting out in I forget the exact date, but I remember seeing examples that he was getting out long before 2018. Goes on to say, you also assert that your case is one of the original jurisdictions and not considered as such by the Commission. Your file shows that in January of 2003, your case was referred to the Commissioners to be one of original jurisdiction, but that referral was promptly denied. There is no evidence that your case is or has ever been designated for original jurisdiction, and this claim is denied. Your claim that the Commission engaged in double counting and did not state reasons for going above the guidelines in your case is also without merit. The decision in your case is a decision within, not above, the guideline range of 100+ months due to your Category 8 offense severity. The statute does not require a statement of good cause for any decision within the guideline range. The regulation requiring the Commission to state pertinent case factors explaining a decision more than 48 months. Hold on. Seem to have lost a piece of paper. Give me just a second. Shoot, where did that piece of paper go? Well, anyway, we'll find it, but I'm gonna keep reading. A decision more than 48 months above the guideline minimum is not the equivalent of the statutory requirement of a good cause finding. In other words, the Commission is not required to state an aggravating factor or circumstance in a Category 8 case, but only to explain its decision more than 48 months above the minimum, which can be done by reference to the circumstances of the offense. This procedure is intended to ensure that the prisoner understands that individualized consideration has been given to the facts of the case, and not to suggest that a grant of parole is to be presumed for any class of Category 8 offenders. 28 CFR Section 2.20. The notice of action dated May the 9th, 2018 referenced the circumstances of your offense and gave proper notice that your case was considered on an individual basis and thus satisfies the Commission's requirement. Additionally, your double counting argument lacks merit because the Commission did not go above the guidelines in your case. Next, all evidence and mitigation you have put forth have been considered by the National Appeals Board and does not warrant a different decision. Most of this evidence pertains to the claim that you have been wrongfully convicted and your current incarceration is illegal. Additionally, you put forth your version of events regarding the crimes you have been convicted of. The Commission relies upon the findings of fact made by the District Court when you are convicted of a crime. This is not the proper venue to raise claims of your innocence, wrongful conviction, or correction of the record from your trial. If you wish to pursue these claims, they should be brought before the proper appellate court. Additionally, the survey you submit of public opinion, including 31 respondents, in no way serves as mitigating evidence for the crimes you committed and will not sway the National Appeals Board towards a more favorable decision. In your next claim, You allege that the hearing examiner and commissioner who decided your case were biased against you because they have promised favoritism to those who are responsible for your conviction. Additionally, you claim that they are further disqualified due to their past history working in law enforcement. Government officials, including hearing examiners and commissioners, are presumed to act with honesty and integrity in carrying out their official duties, unless showing otherwise. You have failed to assert anything more than mere allegations against these individuals, and have shown no reason to suspect any bias or animosity towards you has influenced the decisions made in your case. The National Appeals Board finds no merit to this claim and dismisses it. Last, you claim that the continued involvement of Commissioner Massaroni and hearing examiner Kubik provides acceptance to a contract you had previously sent to the commission, and you are now owed a sum of money over $1 billion. This claim is not grounded in any law and has no merit. No valid contract has been created between any parties, and your appeal is denied. After considering all of your assignments of error, the National Appeals Board affirms the decision of the Commission and continues your parole until expiration of your sentence. All decisions by the National Appeals Board on appeal are final. That's the leading organization of satanic human trafficking. The judge in Scott Faul's case was best friends with one of the officers who was killed that day, Kenneth Muir, and they hated Gordon Call. They openly discussed who would get to murder Gordon Call, and they murdered Gordon Call without due process and without sort of any trial. And they have worked in a very biased fashion to keep Yori Von Call and Scott Faul in prison until they die. But the Lord God Almighty is a God of justice, and He will bring these satanic sons of Belial to justice one day, and I don't believe that there's going to be a hot enough spot in hell to find for them. But God has made a place which was not designed for humans, but for wicked angels. And so God will find a place that's hot enough for these wicked reprobates. And I have no doubt that God will place these wicked reprobates in the proper position for eternity in the lake of fire, and there will not one tear shed from my eyes when they get what's coming for their wickedness in keeping Scott Faul and Yori Von Call together in prison for 35 years each.